Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Make sure to like and subscribe before the video even begins. Today we're going to be going over 2.3 and over 3 questions on Python. So let's begin. So first we have to write a program that prompts the users to input two numbers, a numerator and a divisor. Your program should then divide the numerator by the divisor and display the quotient and remainder without decimals. So that means we're going to have to use two forward slashes and then since they want a remainder, we're going to have to use modular division as well. So I already solved it, so all I'm going to do is explain it basically. So you can use whatever you want for the variable, and you have to use the function integer, which is just int, and then input to input something, and in the quotation, inside the quotations, you can insert whatever you want, which is just prompting you to enter something. So the same thing with the denominator. And then this is really simple question because all you have to do is put print then the variable num. It's not a string because they're variables. Then you have to do two forward slashes because they're asking you without decimals, and what the two forward slashes do, all they do is they round to the nearest whole number, so it will have a decimal. And this percentage sign is basically modular division, where the variables are gonna be divided, and then the variables are equal to numbers. So if num equals to 6 and denominator equals 3, it would print 0 because it goes in evenly. But basically modular division is the remainder. That's what it's gonna print out. So 5 divided by 2 is going to print out 1 because 1 is the remainder, because 2 goes into 5 2 times, but 1 is remaining. So we already know this is the right answer. As you can see, it's been accepted, and it's going to be accepted again. So yeah, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, so 2.3, question 2. It's asking you to write a program that inputs the length of two pieces of fabric in feet and inches and as whole numbers and prints the total. So the problem here is when you add the 2 feet and inches, instead of being 5 feet, when you add them, instead of being 5 feet 1 inch, or in this case, instead of it being 6 feet 4 inches, it would be 5 feet and 16 inches. So that's the problem here. We need to try to convert those 16 inches and divide those 16 inches by 12 and write the remainder as inches, and we have to add the division we did and add it to the feet since we divided by 12. So we obviously have to use the forward slashes, which round to a whole number, and we have to use modular division to get the remaining inches. So you have to input the fabric pieces, so the 2 feet, the 2 inches. So that's easy, and you have to put integers because you're putting in a number, not words. Then you add both the feet, both of the inches, and then you have to put string because you're adding it to a string. If this wasn't here, then you could do it. But you know, it's all about organization. And so you add both the feet and the inches, the totals, and you divide it by 12 to find the whole number without decimals or anything. And then inches, all the inches divided by, modular division by 12, which is going to give you the remainder. So instead of giving you 5 feet 16 inches, it's going to give you 6 feet 4 inches. And this, we're going to run it here and see that it is correct. As you can see, it's already correct, so it's going to show up as accepted. Okay, let's move on to our next problem. Okay, so question 3. Write a program that accepts a time as an hour and minute, add 15 minutes to the time, and output the result. This is very complex question because the main problem here is instead of when you add 15 minutes to 12:40, let's just say 12 hours and 45 minutes, it should say 1, but the code, but when you code it, sometimes it's gonna say 13 hours, but you want it to work like a clock instead of like a military time clock. So how we solve this is you're gonna have to use division, and probably modular division. Yep. Okay. So you input the two numbers because they're both gonna be numbers, and then you add 15 minutes because it's asking you to add 15 minutes. So this is probably the most complex part of the code. It's where all the equation happens, and basically you have to put int so it understands it's a number, hour is a number. So you would subtract 1 to the hour because you're gonna add it later, so it makes sense when instead of it being 12 and going to 13, it's gonna go to 12 and 1. So 12 minus 1 is 11. Well, we're gonna use 12 hours and 50 minutes as the example. So we're gonna use 12 minus 1, which would be 11. Then 50 would be 5 over 6. So then that would be like 12, 5 over 6. And then you use modular division to divide by 12, which will give you like, I'm sorry for the background noise. It'll give you like 11.11 5 over 6. So once you get that, it's gonna be 11 5 over 6. So then it would be like 1 and 5 minutes. So 15. You have to then use modular division to divide it by 60, which would be 5 minutes. So when it prints minute, it'll be 5. And when you print the hours, it's going to be 1 because 12 minus 1, then modular division, which would be 11 plus 1. But then you also have to account for the minute plus 15, which would have been another hour, so it would be 1. So it would print out 1 hour and 5 minutes. So as you can see, if we run it, it's going to be correct because I'm just explaining the answer after I already figured it out. But yeah, if I try to figure out this while on live commentary or whatever, it'd take about 10 minutes to solve, and that'd just be boring. So yeah, this is just these are just explanations for these questions. Okay, make sure to like and subscribe. In the next video, we're going to be going over 2.4, and that's going to be over built-in functions, which you can import modules, which we'll get into the next video. So make sure to look out for that video, and peace out.